Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Masagana Sethaimkwei, and I welcome you to this live broadcast on Alliance in Motion Global. Today, I'm speaking to you about the disadvantages of being in employment. Being in employment can come with several challenges, difficulties, and disadvantages. And today, I want to discuss a few of them with you. What I'm going to do is that I am going to be actually comparing employment with working in Alliance and being in Alliance in Motion Global, AIM Global for short. And so, as I mentioned a disadvantage, I'm going to compare it with how your life or the situation is going to be like if you are in Alliance in Motion Global. In other words, I'm going to share with you the difficulty or the disadvantages of employment, and then I'll let you know how Alliance in Motion Global addresses that difficulty. So once again, you are welcome. The first disadvantage of being in employment is that you no longer control 100% of your time. And that is probably one of the biggest disadvantages of being in employment. It is said, and it is true, that time when it's gone can no longer be recovered. If today goes away, you will never be able to bring back today. You might have another time to do whatever you should have done today, but that's what you could have done on that day, you might also have to postpone it to another day. Time is very perishable, and therefore, whoever controls your time can be said to be actually controlling your very life. And so if in employment you are not controlling your time, it means that somebody else is actually controlling you when you are employed. Your bosses, the owners of the businesses where you are working, can be said to be controlling you when you are in employment. Sometimes you are even asked to work overtime. So the little time that you have to do your private things, the little time you might have to spend with your family to build quality relationship with them, you might even be called upon to do overtime, and then you use some of that time still for your bosses and your employment. Now, when you are in Alliance in Motion Global, you run it as your own business. You are your own boss. And so you control your time. You determine when you will work and when you will not work. You determine when you start work. You determine when you will end your work. And you can even decide on a particular day you will no longer work at all. Now, another advantage of being in Alliance is that you can spend the first few months or years in Alliance to build a big and strong organization or network of distributors under you. And then all you will now be doing is just managing them, showing them what to do, so that they will now be doing the work, and you can completely stop trying to get people to join the business, and the others under you can take over that. When you get to that level, you can spend 24 hours of your time staying home with your family, building quality relationship, and yet you'll be making a lot of money on a daily basis because your network will take good care of you. The second disadvantage of being in employment is that you no longer have control of what task or job or work you want to do. You are told what to do by your boss, and sometimes you are told how to do it. You don't determine what you want to do. And so if there are some tasks or jobs you are not comfortable with and you would have wished not to do it, you will not be able, because in employment somebody else tells you what to do and how to do it. In Alliance, once again, because it is your job, you decide what you want to do and what you don't want to do, because after all, it is your business and you run it how you want to run it. And that is a big advantage Alliance gives you over the disadvantage you have if you are in employment by not being able to control the work or the tasks you do. Also, working for a boss, number 3, working for a boss can be very, very stressful. There are some bosses that are difficult to please. difficult to work with, very demanding, never appreciative, and probably will not even give you the respect that you deserve, all because you are working for him and they probably think because they pay you, they own your very life. It's very stressful. And sometimes, in order for you to get to work early, you sometimes have to get up very early in the morning, prepare home, prepare meals for the family, prepare the children for school. And all these can be very, very stressful. But in Alliance, once again, because you are in control of your time, you can sleep when you want, wake up when you want, prepare your meals when you like it, because there's no other person to control your time and the work that you do. Number 4, one disadvantage of being in employment is that job pressures can also cause you sleepless nights. Sometimes the pressures from work, the challenges you have with your bosses, the difficulties you encounter at the workplace can cause you to have sleepless nights, and that can affect even the time you spend in the house with the family. There are people who can get certain kind of sicknesses that come with pressure and stress. Sicknesses like hypertension, for example, high blood pressure, can easily affect people who have a lot of trouble and pressures on them at work. But again, in Alliance, because you are in control of everything that happens in the business, you are not under any pressure because you are the boss. Number 5, one disadvantage also is that if you are in employment, you depend on a fixed salary, which often does not change very much. There are people who have been on the same salary for years. Interest rate changes, inflation changes, it becomes more difficult, and the cost of living increases, yet they are on the same salary. But in Alliance in Motion Global, your team or the size of your network determines your income. And because people join regularly all the time, your income level increases. So in Alliance in Motion, you will rather be having increasing levels of income day in and day out. And so you are able to take adequate care of yourself and adequate care of your family. That is what we call financial freedom. If you are in employment, you can never enjoy financial freedom. In Alliance in Motion Global, you can enjoy unlimited financial freedom. Number 6, another disadvantage is that you also have to deal with sometimes difficult fellow employees. I know people who have left their employment not because of the pressure from their boss, but because of the difficulties they have with the colleagues they work with. But in Alliance in Motion Global, you build your team, you build your network, and you are free to decide to accept somebody to work under you in your network or not. And so the chances of working with people you don't like are less if you are with Alliance in Motion than if you are in employment. Number 7, and the final one I will talk about, is if you are in employment, your children cannot inherit your employment. And that is very, very significant. If you should die, your children cannot go to your workplace and say that they are coming to take over your job, take over your position, take over your rank, take over everything that you were doing, and take over your salary, enjoy the same levels of salary you were enjoying. The only thing that may be done is that you might be employed so that you also start to build your own career in the same organization, but you cannot inherit your father's employment or your mother's employment. In Alliance in Motion, we have an inheritance clause. When you should die, your dependents will take over your network and run it as if you are the one alive. And so the rank you were in, the position you were in, your income levels, they take over all and enjoy it just like you would have enjoyed if you were alive. So Alliance in Motion is 100% transferable to your dependents and your children. You cannot do that when you are in employment. So this should let you know that Alliance in Motion Global should be preferred to your employment. The good news is that you can still keep your employment, because there are people who are doing what they are doing not just for money, but because that is their sole wish. There are doctors who are doctors not because of the money, but because they love medicine, and so they will want to do medicine no matter what. No problem. Do whatever you are doing. Be in employment. Let somebody control your time, but also join Alliance in Motion, because Alliance is the only network marketing company that does not give you target, does not give you quota, and so you only do the little you can in the little time you get after work. And yet, because our compensation plan is the best in the world, you will even make more money than people who are doing full time in other companies. So keep your employment. Like I am still employed in my country, and yet I am doing the Alliance in Motion Global business successfully. And the good news is that it pays much more than my employment. I can easily make my monthly salary in just one day in Alliance in Motion Global. So keep your job if you want to. In fact, it is advisable to start this business on part-time basis whilst you keep your job, because you don't just build a big network to adequately take care of you in one day. So keep your job, join Alliance in Motion, build your network, and when it is big enough and it is giving you your 3-month salary in just one day, you can decide to say goodbye, enjoy time freedom, enjoy financial freedom, and build quality relationship with your family. So comment below or get in touch with me, and we are going to help you to join this business so that we can all succeed together. If somebody has sent you this video who is also in Alliance, talk to the person. They can also help you, so that even if you don't break away from the total curse of employment, you can use Alliance in Motion to overcome the disadvantages you encounter in your employment. This is where I'm going to end the presentation this morning. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Emily Tiaga, for watching, and thank you, Mr. Daniela Krufi, for also watching. Have a nice day and happy business day. Welcome to the wonderful world of Alliance in Motion Global, where we turn ordinary people into extraordinary millionaires.